Greetings, Starfighter. You are about to listen to the totally super awesome 80's Reboot Overdrive podcast. Always remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Ready Player One.
Welcome to 80's Reboot Overdrive. My name is Dave, and we are continuing with our theme of music, specifically, of course, in the 80s. This time we're talking one-hit wonders. So there's probably many different variations of how we would define one-hit wonders. For me personally, it's going to be, even though a band may have a full album or repertoire of music, maybe only one of them is what comes to mind when you think of this particular band or a specific song. So as we get further into it, I'll be able to further define mine a little bit. Maybe the co-hosts that are on the call will have a different take on what they their criteria of a one-hit wonder. So we'll figure that out as we go. Right now we've got Scott on.
Hi, it's good to be back.
Always good to talk to Scott. And then there's Matt.
Party all the time, man.
Oh no.
Oh, well, Eddie Murphy reference.
Oh no.
There's a little Rick James in there. Good stuff. Outstanding. All right, so I kind of know where this party's going. Let's just go in that order here. So, Scott, you're going to start and tell us kind of what your criteria is for defining one-hit wonder.
Well, I kind of agree with the way you're looking at it. There's, a few bands that you may have heard their name more than once. But you always have that one song that really jumps out at you. Reading a little bit on like Wikipedia, they were qualifying one-hit wonders as somebody that only had one top 40 hit in the United States versus having several over the decade. So I'm kind of going with just mostly. I'm just going with the ones that really are truly one hits, the ones that really you only know one song. Even if you bought the album, sometimes you forget all the rest. You remember the one. I never had this album, but I always love hearing this song, and it tells such a great story, and it's a little on the sad side, but it's "Life in a Northern Town" by Dream Academy. And I can't think of anything else that they did, so I would definitely qualify that as a one-hit wonder. Just a really interesting song, the way they tell the story.
I'm a big fan of this song.
Yeah.
Just a "Hey Moo Ma Ma Ma" part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the video, early in my life, and just being a very tranquil, subdued song, like you're saying, but right. Memorable.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm drawing a blank on that song.
It is an obscure one-hit wonder then.
Yeah, but Dream Academy, Life in Northern Town. I'm with you on that one, Scott. That
Cool.
one didn't make my list, but it's got some good memories for me.
Yeah, it was really hard to pick. When we get to narrow down three, it's really hard to pick. Just like every other topic that we've done, it's so hard to narrow it down to just three of your top ones. So I wasn't sure which way I was going to go. Like, do I want to go with the serious songs or just the ones that are just so bad, but they were top 40, but bad?
You mean you're not including Heartbeat?
Was it Don Johnson?
Don Johnson.
Nice.
Yeah, I think your metal buddy have problems if you were to start off with Don Johnson on this one.
Yeah, that might be. They might give me a little ribbing for that.
Oh yeah. All right, so Matt, how are you defining one-hit wonder?
Defining it by generally just basically what Scott said, just bands that are known for only having one song and that's it.
Okay.
Even though they might have many, many albums, including one of my favorite artists. It's considered a one-hit wonder, but he's actually got decades worth of work after it.
All right, so who's your first pick?
My first pick is probably a little bit sad song too. It's XTC, Dear God.
Oh wow. I remember that song. That's a great one.
That one just resonated. It had a great little hook to it, and the way it starts off slow, speeds up, and then slows back down at the end is just a fantastic song to me.
You know, and the vocals on that the younger person, I'm not sure if it was a little younger boy or younger girl, but just those vocals on that are a little bit haunting. You know, it's got a really cool sound to it. It's something you just don't hear in a lot of the songs. I thought it was pretty unique.
Yeah, so I thought it was very unique, and actually I don't think there's been a lot of songs like it since.
No, I can't think of any.
Now, I remember the song, and I remember liking it, but I don't recall ever seeing a video. Did they have a video that got a lot of airplay?
Maybe. I have no idea.
You know, I don't know if it got a lot of airplay, but I'm pretty sure there was a video that went along with that.
I'm sure it was on 120 minutes. That's basically all I watched back in the 80s. So
120 minutes. Yeah. What was that?
The MTV alternative show.
Oh.
I think it was on Saturday nights or Sunday nights. I don't remember.
Yeah. See, I was more of a Headbangers Ball kind of a guy.
Yeah, it was on. I don't remember. One of them was on either nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have fell in that alternative realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that probably the reason why it wouldn't have been like one of those mainstream, play every 15-minute videos that MTV liked to do. But yeah, good song. Yeah, of all the ones that I was looking at today, and actually, playing snippets of the videos, I did not come across that one, and I'm sorry I didn't. I want to hear it again right now. So I'm going to start off with a party song. So mine has just got a very, great hook to it for me. And every time I hear it, it just, it never fails to make me, kind of excited. And it's one I never get tired of. The song's called Let's Go All the Way. The band's called Sly Fox.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
And I actually just watched the video maybe 15 minutes before we started talking. So it's complete 80s cheesy video, crazy over the top with the imagery, and I don't know. It's just, the song gets to me. I love it. So I don't know what happened to Sly Fox and why they couldn't make, more songs, but I think that's the only one that's memorable for those guys.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember too. But it does have some good lyrics in it. Living in New York looks like an apple core, and then they got the background vocal, apple core. It's good stuff.
Matt, do you remember that one at all?
I do remember it. I can't. Was it in a movie? It wasn't in a movie, was it? It just seems like it was in a movie. I remember it just seeming, because it's kind of one of those songs that they play a montage to. I just remember that.
Yeah, the awesome montage that they like to do. Yeah, I could see that, actually. I could see something like that happening.
The song is featured in the 2014 re-release of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, that's where I remember hearing it. That's right.
It's on the in-game non-stop pop radio station.
Yep.
As well as one of the game's trailers.
That's right. Now I remember.
That's the only place it got used. That's fun. Insane Clown Posse did a cover of it.
That's an actual cover?
Yeah, it says Insane cover versions under Wikipedia, so it's under Insane Clown Posse version.
Wow, I bet that's interesting.
I can imagine.
Oh, I see. He was one of the band members is the former vocalist from Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay.
All kinds of cool connections.
Gary Cooper.
Got next choice for you.
The song, one of the songs I loved from back, it was like 81, Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider. And I don't recall any other songs that they really had. I know that Tom Cochrane came out with a song. It was either early 90s, but he was just the lead singer for them. Life is a Highway. But that Lunatic Fringe is just a great classic rock song that, I can't help but turn up when it comes on the radio. And that intro, the guitar intro to it is really cool and just kind of building and awesome. It's a great one. Do you guys remember that one?
I honestly do not.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's I can almost hear it, but not quite. I'm like mixing it up. Sorry to say.
It's interesting how we some of us remember certain songs and some you can't remember.
Right.
But they were all on the radio. I mean, they were all popular on the radio. Now, 81 is a little bit early in the 80s, so sometimes that gets a little lost in the decade rollover. Late 70s, early 80s.
Well, it can't all be rock on.
Or it can't all be party all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, party.
But so this one was in Vision Quest, according to Wikipedia.
Lunatic Fringe?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's on the soundtrack.
Oh, awesome. Man, I haven't seen that one in a long time. That was Matthew Modine, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And a great soundtrack.
That's the one with Madonna's on that soundtrack too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get Into the Groove?
Crazy for You.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one we're thinking of. Crazy
Yeah,
for You.
that had a lot of video.
Right.
A lot of coverage on video.
Lunatic Fringe, unfortunately, not something that a lot of us remember, but still cool. That's on the Vision Quest soundtrack.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out sometime. That's a good song, really. If you like some good kind of classic rock stuff, it's decent.
Matt, what do you got for us?
I'm probably going to pick another odd one. Wall of Voodoo, Mexican Radio.
It's a great song. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's just a fun kind of toe-tapping song.
Definitely a fun song.
It definitely is. It's out there, man. It's one of the ones that are really out there. Just it probably goes in lines with like I'm turning Japanese. Yeah. It's just bizarre, but totally 80s.
There was some crazy cool stuff back then too. There was they did the definitely off the wall odd stuff. I mean, that's Whip It is another good song like that. That's really kind of just crazy and fun, and you can't help but just really be excited about it. But that's the Mexican Radio. Good stuff.
And I almost chose Madness, Our House, but I really don't consider them a completely one-hit wonder.
That's what I wrestled with too, because I love that song. But you're right; they're not one-hit wonders, though. Not by my definition, anyway.
No.
And if you looked up Mexican Radio in Wikipedia, there is so many cover versions listed.
Yes, it is. It's been covered so many times. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think any of them as memorable as the original.
Yeah, isn't that often the case? It's hard to really duplicate that the initial song. Like I heard the Alien Ant Farm version of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal the other day, and it's so bizarre compared to the original. I know Michael Jackson's very far from a one-hit wonder, but I think Alien Ant Farm might fall under that category if we were talking 2000s.
That's on 2000 Reboot Overdrive. My next choice is going to be Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth. I don't know what it was about this song, but when I was a youngster, at this time I would have been like 11 or 12 years old. As soon as I got wind of this song, I just could not get tired of hearing it. I could not have people stop playing it. So it was this song and probably Our House Madness, which we talked about a little bit earlier there. were the ones that would never get old for me, and I think probably to the detriment of my family, who probably got tired of hearing the same damn song over and over and over again. So I don't know what it was, about the Jamaican / English sound of these kids, which had this very strong reference to drugs, I'm sure.
No, come on.
But I just love this song, and it was just kind of infectious for me.
Got a little bit of a reggae thing going, huh, Dave?
I think so.
Yeah, you like the reggae? You like Marley or whatever. I'm not a big fan of reggae. I don't think that song never really grabbed me, but I do remember it. It was extremely popular, and it definitely had some overtones in it, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. But I think they, in order to make it more accessible, like they turned it into a version where it was about, going hungry and needing food.
Right.
So Pass the Dutchie was, a reference to something to do with food, I think, at that point, to make it a little more tolerable to the sensibilities, of the population. But I'm almost sure Pass the Dutchie was definitely a drug reference. I'm sure listeners will have a different opinion of that, but I'm not sure. But what about you, Matt? You a big Musical Youth fan?
Honestly, I can't. This is another song that I can't remember.
Okay.
Really? Do you need me to sing this one for you too? I apologize for the terrible voice, but pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side.
Oh, now okay.
See,
okay.
as soon as you hear that tag, you can get it. It comes right back.
Yeah, now I remember it.
But not memorable enough, though.
See, that's the problem with the 80s for me. Is just so much bad music in the 80s to me.
It's so bad, but it's oh so good.
Bad in a good way.
I mean, come on, you gotta love the cheesy stuff. You gotta love it. I mean, it's so ingrained in that culture of the 80s. There was so much cheese going on. You'd think everybody was living in Wisconsin. I mean, it was
everybody and all these movie stars and actors that released all these songs. I'm like, why are you guys singing? Why?
Yes. You will not see Brad Pitt release a song. I mean, you do have somebody like Zooey Deschanel who kind of bounces between the two professions. The actress. Are you familiar with who she is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She does it well, though.
Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because a lot of these guys, the actors from the 80s, they were terrible.
Oh
I mean, you got. What's the
Bruce
other guy's
Willis?
name? Yes,
you got Bruce Willis released an album in the 80s.
Return of Bruno.
Jack Wagner.
Jack Wagner. Yep.
It was terrible. How about an obscure one? Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So, but I've got to ask though, do you guys consider the Eddie Murphy song bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But
anybody remember Rodney Dangerfield's
Rappin' Rodney?
Rappin' Rodney. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually made it to 89 on VH1's top 100.
Really?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to go around again. Scott, what is your next pick?
I could go so many directions with this. I might have to steal Dave's thunder a little bit. I have a feeling he's going to pick something from this soundtrack. I'm going to say...
I know where he's going.
Modern English Melt With You.
Ah, sweet.
I had to tie in the Valley Girl because I know, you and I both agree that it was a great movie. And Matt, I don't know. I don't remember if what your
Matt
opinion
was
of
an
Valley
advocate
Girl was.
Against.
I wasn't that far against it. I wasn't in love with the movie. I'll say that, but
not like Nick.
Not like. I wasn't against it completely.
They
That was
just
just-
changed it. They just changed the subject as soon as I wanted to talk about it. That's all.
It was just out of the. It was like out of left field all of a sudden. Like, let's talk about Valley Girl. Like, what? Okay.
And doing a little research, I was looking at, and one of the other songs that came to mind was Valley Girl, the song, which I don't think is on the soundtrack. And it was released a year before the movie was by, Moon Unit, Zappa, which I don't know. It's got to be based off of the song. The movie is
Right.
the way they talk, and it's so amazing how deep that got entrenched in the culture back then, and even kind of lives through to today. You can still hear a lot of those quotes from them. Gag me with a spoon. You still hear it every once in a while. People are making fun of it, but it's still out there.
But yeah, Modern English. I can't think of anything else by them other than I Melt With You.
Yeah, I don't. They probably released another video or two somewhere in that era, somewhere in those couple of years following that, but I don't think they ever made the charts again because, I just can't remember it. I'll have to look it up.
But that definitely was a very iconic staple of the 80s.
Yeah,
That song.
I think that's, even as a one, as we're calling them a one-hit wonder, I think that song is one of the songs that I would label as like the tagline of the 80s. Like, you can just play that song and it's just all about the 80s, and that it really just gives me that feeling of being right back there. And I wasn't even a huge fan of the song. I wasn't a big fan of the music from the soundtrack. I thought the movie was entertaining, but back then I was the metalhead, like I've told you guys before. So that was not exactly that was not one of the cassettes that was playing in my truck at the time. So let me see, Modern English.
This is an interesting factoid. According to the vocalist Robbie Gray, the song is about a couple having sex as nuclear bombs fall.
Wow.
I did not know that. Wow.
That's interesting.
It is. But now I know, Matt, you're probably your closet Modern English groupie.
No, not a huge Modern English fan.
But I know you've got the Valley Girl soundtrack on your rotation.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
exactly.
I play it every day on my way to work.
Cool. You got some psychedelic furs going. You got some Modern English. Yeah, it's good. I love psychedelic furs, actually. They got some good stuff.
I guess I know, Scott, you're a what would be considered like a metalhead or a heavy metal
Hands
kind of
Across the
person.
Sea. Hands Across the Sea. That's another Modern English song. See, I knew I'd see. I'm not going to sing it, but
I don't remember that one. That's not. Hands
Yeah.
Across the Sea.
Yeah, I don't remember that one either.
That was
I
Modern
know.
English.
yeah, I know my new wave.
Because I know that. What was that? The Wings. Paul McCartney and Wings had a song that was "Hands Across the Water, Hands Across the Sea." Yeah, but I don't remember a Modern English version of it, or their own single.
Same
separate,
thing.
separate. Yeah, separate. Yeah, that's the only one that I can hear in my head, going through my head, is the Wings version, or Wings one of that.
Yeah, it reached 91 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Hands Across the Sea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Really?
And I don't remember it at all. Weird.
I always considered Modern English a kind of happy version of Joy Division.
Joy Division. That came up in a conversation the other day.
If you think about it, Joy Division kind of influenced all the styles of the 80s indirectly, but they sort of came up with that new wave first, and everybody kind of followed suit.
So, Matt, I don't think I've ever asked you, but what is your genre of music that you prefer?
I don't really have a genre. I mean, my favorite bands, Rush, My second favorite band's 9 Inch Nails.
Oh,
And then somewhere in there, listen to David Bowie and listen to classical music and listen to a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Nice eclectic collection then.
And heck, I've been known to rock out to Pink.
Yeah, you know what? She's really talented. I know a couple of people that have seen her in concert, and they said she was amazing.
So what's your take on Springsteen?
My take?
Yeah. I'm doing this for Jesse.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Springsteen fan. I mean, I recognize that he has talent, but I'm not a huge fan. I own a couple albums.
All right. So what's your next pick, Matt?
My next pick, since I just said 9 Inch Nails was one of my favorite albums. So my next pick from the one-hit wonders, and I really wrestled whether or not to include it, was to consider it a one-hit wonder, even though he's worked for decades afterwards. It's Gary Newman's Cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he has done a lot of work, but he just never got very far with it. But
No, he's never been very big past that one song.
What year was that? 81?
Early 80s. I'm not
80
sure.
or 81. And I was in like 7th grade when that came out, and I remember it distinctly back in middle school. So it was either 7th or 8th grade. So it would have been 81-ish, somewhere around there. But that's...
Just the sound of it just blew my mind. It's like something that just like hit me with a rock.
Yep, and you can name that. Yeah, you can name that tune in 3 bars easily every time it comes on. You just know it right away. You don't have to hear very much of that song, and it's recognizable, and it was really cool. Dun 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 dun. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, so we might have a flag on the field on this one.
79?
79 song. It was released in the UK in 79. However, it hit the US Top 100 in 1980. So, Matt, you may not have heard it until 1980, but it was in the UK in 79. So, I don't know. We're cusping.
Didn't grow up in the UK. So.
Yeah, this is the USA.
So you're saying no flag? We're going to let that one go by?
Yes, I have to agree. I have to let that one go because that one's awesome. It's a great song, and it does say 80s. Even if it was released in 79 over on the other side of the pond, it wasn't popular until 80 here, so that qualifies.
And it did come up when I was doing searches for 80s one-hit wonders.
Yeah, it did on the Wikipedia page that you posted.
Right. So it was there, and I agree with you. It's a definitely a very memorable 80s song, and you're right. Within the first few notes, you're like, oh yeah, I know that song. So yeah, I'm with you.
I can't get it now. Yeah,
Can't stop now.
Great stuff.
And I actually saw Gary Newman a couple of years ago when he was opening up for 9 Inch Nails. And Trent Reznor came out and played with Gary Newman.
Really?
During the set, yep.
There's an artist that's underrated, Trent Reznor.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to Gary Newman and then you go and listen to 9 Inch Nails, you can totally see the influence.
I could see that. I was a huge 9 Inch Nails fan, and that would almost qualify. 89, I think that one came out. So they might even qualify as an 80s band.
But definitely not a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, no. Who hasn't gone on their third choice yet?
That's me.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here.
No problems. My third pick, I was going The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades by Timbuk 3.
Nice, and you did the interview with the singer for that.
Yeah, Pat McDonald.
Yep.
I talked to him, and it's one of those things where there were other albums that was released by them, but nothing that had gotten the popularity of Future So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades. What got so interesting to me as I talked to Pat McDonald about the song was he had said that there is the song's been kind of misinterpreted as a feel-good look at the future type of song, but in reality it was kind of a doom outlook for an upcoming nuclear holocaust version, of the 80s. And unfortunately, all these politicians that have used "The Future So Bright I Gotta Wear Shades" as kind of their theme mantra song, he finds kind of humorous because it's not exactly what the song was supposed to be meant to be about at all. It's more of a bit of a doom outlook of what the future is supposed to be like. So that was very interesting. And then also the song itself, they had gotten just tons of offers to use in commercials, and they turned them all down cold because they didn't want to do that to that song. They wanted to kind of retain control of it.
Keep the real meaning of the song.
Yeah, well, I mean,
of how they wrote it.
Yeah, and not have it commercialized, and as he probably would put it, turn into a bit of a joke. And so he wanted to kind of keep the spirit of the song alive. So it was very interesting conversation with him, and it kind of gave me a newfound respect for this song after I talked to him.
Yeah, well, it's funny that we mentioned there's 2 songs now that came up tonight, just in our 9 picks that reference nuclear holocaust.
Well, I mean that was definitely kind of a background for the 80s.
Yeah, it was. I mean the Cold War, the Red Menace.
Right. Matt, what do you think? Timbuk 3? Did you like that song?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of that song. I listen to that song religiously. I always thought it was funny too when everybody started using it for the wrong reasons. It's like, do you guys listen to the song? Have you listened to lyrics? Am I the only one that sees this? Eventually you just start questioning whether you're interpreting wrong.
Or is everyone else interpreting wrong, right?
Yeah.
I think they're just listening to the chorus, right? And you think, okay, well then, the chorus has a good message behind it, so it's got to be a good song, so I'm just going to keep playing it. Now, when you guys were doing your look out for the picks, did any of you go back and look at the videos, associated videos with these?
I did not get a chance to do that today, but I wanted to. As I was scrolling through, I'm like, man, I ran out of time to actually do it because I was out running around today. So, and no watching videos while you drive. So
no, that's bad. That's bad.
Nope, didn't watch any videos.
Well, the reason why I ask, and this one was an honorable mention for me, but it's got to be the first time I think I've ever watched the official video for it. This is Peter Schilling, Major Tom, Coming Home.
Oh yeah.
That's on my list.
Yeah, that was on my list too because I'm a huge David Bowie fan, so just missed it by a little bit.
And have you seen the video for this?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
I think I may have in the 80s when it was on MTV, but I don't recall it. And that was actually, it's funny you say that because that was one of the videos that I was scrolling through on the top 100 VH1 list. And I saw that one and I wanted to click on it, but I just didn't have time. So I had to, go and do stuff. And it was
Dark
one that
stuff.
actually, stuff.
Well, I mean, the video for this, for Major Tom, there's a lot of interweaving with like real footage from like NASA, the control room and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of the singer himself and the band. They're in this. It looks like a junk pile of cars that are all stacked up together. And, he's sitting in one of the cars near the top, that looks like, could be like a space rocket that's going to be taken up from a junkyard. And it's just weird imagery. But then they intermingle it with, all these different, like I said, the control center for NASA. And then you've got like 3 bums off to the side. They're all looking up at the band in these, desolate cars, and you could tell they're kind of looking at him like, "You're crazy. Why do you think you're Major Tom?" And it's just weird imagery for the video.
Yeah.
Also, it's also interesting because it's a continuation of a storyline that David Bowie started in another album, which I always thought was interesting.
I thought that was always one of the most appealing things about that song too. And I was never a huge Bowie fan. I definitely appreciate him and respect his talent, but I was not. I didn't really get into too much of his music. But I would have to say Major Tom was a great tribute to what he was doing, and I love that song. The Earth Below Us, the lyric, the chorus line to it. It's great. Love it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video now.
So are there any other honorable mentions that you guys wanted to throw out there before we get to our Twitter shout-outs?
Oh, there are too many, but I have to go a little bit on the metal side and say Summertime Girls by Y&T. Full on hair band, just great stuff. Yeah. And then another band that I really, really love, and they really didn't see too much success. I mean, I think a lot of people know of them, and a lot of people probably know some more of their songs than this one, but Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party was the one that put them on the map. And I mean, they were featured in a couple other movies, like that was out of Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School, I think. No, was that it? Yeah, I think it was in that one.
Or was it Weird Science? No.
They sang Weird Science though. They did. They did that song. Yeah, so I guess that's Science. Yeah, I guess it doesn't qualify then. They had a couple too many. But I love Oingo Boingo. They had some great stuff that was so obscure and nobody really. A lot of people when I moved to Chicago. I saw them the first year that I was living here. I saw them at the Riviera on the north side of Chicago, and I asked so many people if they wanted to go, and nobody wanted to go because they'd never heard of Oingo Boingo. I'm like, how could you not know of Oingo Boingo? Come on, Dead Man's Party. Anyway, moving on.
You're right, though. It was used in Back to School in 1986.
Yes, and then they also had. They also played the closing song of Fast Times at Ridgemont High called Goodbye, which goodbye, yeah. Never mind. Never mind. And goodbye. All right. It's been a good time, guys. I'll see you later. Don't forget to tip the servers.
Exactly. You're all week.
Yeah. I will be here all of the week.
All right. So, Matt, is there any other honorable mentions that you wanted to throw out there?
Couple. Definitely Thomas Dolby's She Blinded Me with Science. I think I wore the tape out on that one.
Oh, yeah.
I just love that song. And another one I've grown to appreciate later is Big Country.
Oh, okay.
Country. That one was kind of an odd one. I didn't really appreciate it back then, but now I kind of appreciate it now. I think it's kind of funny. We haven't actually mentioned any of the more popular ones. Like, we've all got these kind of obscure one-hit wonders. And it's like, nobody's talked about Mickey or Take On Me or Come On Eileen.
Yeah, exactly. Dixie's Midnight Runners. That was probably the first thing when the topic came up of one-hit wonders. I think that's the first song that probably popped into my head. Or we could even go with the first video ever played. Radio killed the radio star.
Right. I was thinking Nina, 99 Left Balloons.
Great one. That's another good reference. I mean, nobody heard from her after that either.
Oh, Electric Avenue.
Grant.
I love that song. It could go on forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's hundreds of them, and that's one of the beautiful things about the 80s is there was so much to choose from. It was definitely not a boring decade. we have a lot of stuff to look back on and go, wow, they made some great stuff and they made some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And even the bad stuff is great stuff. You can't help but love it now.
But I mean, there's so many bad ones. Like, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight.
Oh, Cutting Crew? Is that Cutting Crew, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's been featured in a couple movies, too.
Even though Jesse couldn't join us, he actually gave us a little verbiage here. He's picking Clarence Clemens with Jackson Browne, You're a Friend of Mine. He's also got Billy Vera, At This Moment. He says he loves how the use of the song and Family Ties, and think it's cool that Tracy Poland and Michael J. Fox are still married in real life. He said that's impossible for them to get on the dance floor where someone doesn't play that song. And then Jeff Healey Band, Angel Eyes. Song was written by John Hyatt, which is also his selection for top 3 albums of the 80s.
Right, and that's an excellent song. I love that. You know, I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Billy Vera?
No, the Angel Eyes.
Jeff Healey Band.
Yeah, you just said it, and it just completely went out of my mind. Jeff Healey, also featured in the movie Roadhouse.
Yep.
Blind guitarist that is just amazing. I believe he's pretty much leans towards the blues more than anything, but yeah, awesome song.
Yeah, he had a great sound.
Yeah. I wish he would have been a little bit more recognized and had a couple more things to listen to out there.
And of course, Jesse's picking Billy Vera at this moment, and I'm sure he listened to that interview from past 80s Reboot, and that's the reason why he's picking that one.
So when did Billy Vera drop the beers?
No shout out for Pac-Man Fever.
Yeah, exactly. We can't go without that.
Yeah, when I was asking my wife about, I was talking to my wife about this, what we were doing tonight, and that's the first thing that she said, Pac-Man Fever. Like, yeah, we even having the little bit of history that you have on the podcast too with Billy Mitchell and the 35th anniversary and all
Buckner
that stuff.
Garcia.
Yeah, and the interview with Buckner too. That's
a
couple of tie-ins there.
Yeah, thank you, Matt, for bringing up Pac-Man Fever. I didn't have to.
I did the name dropping for you.
Thank you.
Go back and look.
Another
Go back
one
and listen to past podcast.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that nobody brought up "Flock of Seagulls." Iran.
It's one of those songs I don't want to remember.
Come on, we all know you had that hair. Actually, that's got some pretty cool guitar licks in it. If you listen to the song, it's actually not a bad song.
Yeah.
Strange looking band, though. That's definitely a strange looking band.
But they keep using the name of the band as reference to somebody that has just bad hair, though.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Flock of Seagulls?
Or what's another bad one? Not Turn You Right Round. The other one.
Spin Me Round by Dead or Alive?
Yeah, that's not the band that I was thinking of, but it was close.
How about
Kaja Gugu?
Oh yeah, Too Shy. Yeah, that was bad.
That one actually did make the Twitter list. So.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
You want to? Let's go off the Twitters for a little bit.
We'll return after these messages.
Shower with music. Splash, sing, swing with a Pollinex shower radio.
Splash Dance.
Water resistant, AM and FM. Safe, battery operated.
Splash Dance.
Tune into your favorite music. Don't skip a beat. Wake up to the morning news, weather, sports. Take a relaxing bath. Splash Dance, shower radio from Pollinex.
Now music to shower by. Fun gift available at Kmart, Jafco, and Payless.
Yeah, let's bring up some of these ones that have been brought up by our Twitter followers. We got Freaky Fast, which is at my86686. You Spin Me Around, Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wishing Well by Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Good song.
And She Blinded Me with Science, Thomas Dolby. And She Blinded Me with Science. I mean, that was another very iconic video.
Yes, the old professor guy who then I think he's done a couple different things. I've seen him before in some kind of movie from back then.
I just remember him going around like the insane asylum.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the straitjacket on at one point, right?
Right.
She blinded him with science. It's great. I had a friend that looked exactly like Thomas Dolby.
That is just sad. All right, so that fat lady S at that fat lady S says just a few from the playlist I'm currently listening to, which is you guys are going to have to say that one for me. Kajagoogoo.
Yeah, that's the Kajagoogoo. Too Shy.
Yep.
Too Shy is the song that.
Too Shy.
Yeah.
Yep. Real Life. Do you guys remember the song on that one?
I don't.
Real Life.
Real Life. I'm going to have to look that one up real quick.
Rockwell is definitely identifiable.
Send Me an Angel by Real Life.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
And then Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. And she says, the creepiest video of my childhood. And I got to agree with her on that one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just had an epiphany of one of the songs that I needed to mention.
Uh-oh.
Party All the Time?
No.
Respect Yourself by Bruce Willis.
No. Hold on. I can tell you the name. Artist is Orange Juice Jones.
Orange Juice Jones.
Yes, and it was In the Rain. I saw you walking in the rain. Come on, you got to remember this thing. He goes into this awesome cheesy rap at the end of it. It is. You guys gotta look this one up. It is so bad. I can't believe this didn't come to me earlier. It's one of my all-time favorite worst songs.
All right, so give it to me again. Orange what?
It's called Hit. It's ORAN. Oran Juice in quotations Jones. And I want to say that was 86. It says. Oh, such a great cheesy song. Oh, you got to listen like even if you skip like the first 3 minutes of it and listen just the last part of it, there he goes into this rap where he's yelling at his girlfriend for cheating on him, and it's just too funny.
That just sounds bad. Bad so many levels.
Yes, it is, but it's fun. It's still fun. Sorry, total tangent there.
No worries. All right, so our next is by How I Spent My Childhood, which is at Yesterdayville on Twitter. Angel Eyes. All right, this might be a disqualification. We Got the Beat, which I believe is the Go-Go's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a definite disqualification.
And then Get Out of My Dreams.
Oh God! I just put that stupid song in my head.
Get out of my dreams and into my car. Was that Billy Ocean?
Yeah.
Because I believe he had more than one hit in the 80s also.
Yeah. Yesterdayville, we got a flag on the play. You're out. All right. Branded in the 80s. I think we'll have better luck with this one. This is at Smurfrec. God, I love that Twitter handle.
Good one.
Aha's Take on Me.
Yeah.
Bananarama's Cruel Summer. And does Tim Capello's I Still Believe from Lost Boys count?
It's a great song on that soundtrack.
That wasn't really a hit, though.
No, I wouldn't call it a one-hit wonder. It wasn't a hit.
No.
I don't think it ever made the top 100.
I don't think it. I think it's the only time you hear it is on that soundtrack.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah, it was a question mark. Does it count? So, you guys are saying no, it does not count.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to veto that one.
All right.
I don't know about Bananarama either, since they had Venus.
You're right. So Aha's Take on Me might be the only qualified answer on that one.
Sorry, Smurfrec. Love the tag or the handle though. That's awesome.
Yep.
But I do like the Lost Boys song. I do like that song. That's a great song.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How it was done by
Tim Capellos, according to the tweet.
Maybe.
I
know what song she's talking about.
Yeah. It was also redone. The Lost Boys, the guy Tim Capello redid it. It was a second version of it. There was another one that was done before that, earlier in the 80s. Who was that done by? I used to love that song. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, Tristan Lofting at Tristan Lofting. Now, Tristan, I'm talking to you directly right here. You've had some fabulous interactions with me via Twitter. I love the stuff that you've given me before, but if you're going to start with Tony Basil Mickey, I'm going to ban you from listening to the podcast. So, unfortunately, this is where Tristan started with Tony Basil Mickey.
Oh, come on.
Now that song is going to be stuck up my damn head. But anyway, also goes on to Falco, Rock Me Amadeus, and then Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science. So Thomas Dolby definitely getting some good tweet attention. But Falco, Rock Me Amadeus, that one wasn't brought up before.
Right.
So Rock Me Amadeus.
Sorry, I got Mickey stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Mickey. So Jason R. Wells, Esquire, at JR Wells 82, tweeted to us, Corey Hart, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Great. That was...
I hate that song. I just hate that song.
I love that song.
I hate that song so much.
Oh, wow.
You sound passionate about this choice to hate.
God.
I'm with Scott on this one. I like it.
Yeah. Some reason, alright, little personal side note. Some reason, I was dating somebody back then, and for some reason they loved Corey Hart. They just made me listen to that stupid, god-awful album over and over again, and I just, every time it just grates on me, every time I hear that song.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you know...
Is he one of those, wasn't he an actor too? Wasn't he on some soap opera?
I don't recall that. I do love the song. I didn't really care for too many other things he did that I recall. He did have one other song that might have made like the top 100. It's a slower song. I can't remember the name of it though.
Jason R. Wells also threw out Tommy Two Tone 867-5309 Jenny.
I don't know how we missed that one earlier because that's pretty iconic of one-hit wonders.
And then Aha, Take on Me.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ugly Hyena Junkie. This is at Card Junk. CARD Junk. We got Tom Club, Genius of Love. Laid Back White Horse. And Mars, Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah. White Horse is actually something that's in my playlists. In most of my playlists. I know it has something, I if I recall, it has something to do with heroin, but or coke or something, I don't know. Kind of goes along with White Lines, you know. Remember that one too? Who did that one? White Lines.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, White Horse. If you're gonna ride, don't ride the white pony.
Yeah, Pump Up the Volume. It's another iconic 80s.
And that's a good fun one. Really, you remember hearing that in the clubs even a couple years later. You know, once I hit 21, I remember hearing that in the clubs quite a bit early on. Not that I was a huge fan of going to clubs, but
very revealing. So you were a clubber / metalhead. Hey,
yeah, well. Yeah, not exactly. Not a clubber. I would never call myself a clubber. You know, that's what everybody else wanted to do, and I was just kind of I was hanging
went
out
along
with my
for the ride.
buddies. I'm like, yeah, might as well go along and drink Miller Lite,
Yeah.
which is a terribly sad thing too.
Could have been Zima.
Oh, Zima. My cousin used to drink that all the time. And we used to make so much fun of him.
Had to throw the Zima bomb.
Nice. That's good.
All right.
That's good.
All right, so at All New Sucks, SUX, has got double Captain of Her Heart, Murray Head, One Night in Bangkok,
Terrible song. Oh my gosh. Oh, man.
Moving Pictures, What About Me?
Let's sing a song about chess, really.
Yes.
Please, let's write a song about chess.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one, One Night in Bangkok. Still don't like it.
Nobody's brought up Funky Town.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, because I got to the end of our Twitter shout-outs, and nobody did bring up Funky Town.
Or Putting on the Ritz by Taco.
But
That
that's an old song.
That
that's
that
true.
one annoys me.
It would only qualify as one-hit wonder because of Taco.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that one at all.
I love that. I like the silence after that. After you say the name Taco, you guys just both went silent. Like, Taco.
Taco.
Is that crickets? Do I hear crickets?
I was thinking of dinner.
Ooh, tacos. Yum.
Tacos.
No Love for Lady in Red.
Oh yeah. Who sang that one?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no clue. It's another one that I try to block out as much as possible.
You know what? As soon as you said it, the song is going through my head. Thank you. I'm gonna have to listen to some Alter Bridge before I go to sleep tonight now to get it out of my head.
What about The Warrior by Scandal?
Oh God.
No? Don't like that one? Another good one, What I Am, Eddie Brickell and the New Bohemians.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Quarter Flash. What was that song? I'm gonna harden my heart.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sorry. You guys, I'm the only one singing here.
Betty Davis Eyes. Betty Davis Eyes.
Now,
I don't remember. They probably have more hits. I don't know.
That would be Bonnie Tyler, I believe.
Yeah.
Or no. Was it Bonnie Tyler?
I think.
Did she do? I
don't think she qualifies as a one-hit wonder, though. I don't think.
Yeah, because I think she had some other ones.
All right. Well, I just got one that I should have picked.
What's
Obsession. That? Obsession by Animotion.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? I played this one when it came out religiously too. Was the song from? I had Max Headroom on it. I don't remember what the heck the song was called.
It was called Paranoia, and it was on my list of things to mention. It's awesome song.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's so and when the Max Headroom was such an interesting thing that they did with the videos and his show with playing music videos in the background and then him being featured in Back to the Future 2, right?
Yeah.
Where they come to 2015 and Max Headroom is still on the videos, which doesn't really make that much sense, but it's funny how much of an impact that Max Headroom had. And then that actor, I can't remember his name, but he was like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and
Matt Frewer. Yeah, and
they only used like the lower half of his face or something for the original video capture. And
no, it's all makeup. It was all makeup.
It was all makeup?
Yeah, it was all makeup.
Really?
They make it look like it's in a computer, but it's fake.
Wow, that was pretty well done then. Fooled me. I thought they only used I thought I heard a rumor something going around about that they only used the lower half of his face when they were doing this so that they wouldn't really show who it really was. But that's interesting. That was all makeup. Thanks for that tidbit of information. I love obscure trivia like that. That's awesome.
Any parting thoughts for One Hit Wonders before we close out the conversation? Matt.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get I Want My Candy and Tainted Love, but I'm sure I can relax. And I do my safety dance.
Yeah, you're going to have to go listen to Nine Inch Nails' version of Tainted Love, right? Or no, was that... Wait, no, not Nine Inch Nails. Sorry, that's... what's his name? He's nuts.
Are you talking about guy from Ministry?
No. Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
Tainted Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, but has that nice crunchy sound that Nine Inch Nails brought too. So anyway, sorry to interrupt your final thoughts. I'm really good at interrupting. Really, ask my wife.
I just died in your arms.
All right, Scott. What about you? Parting thoughts.
It's really fun to recall all these things, especially when you forget about some of them and that people bring up. Like you don't hear Kaja Gugu very often on the radio, even on the 80's channel, and some of the other songs that were mentioned, but our one hit wonders. And I love talking about this, and I'm so glad that I could be part of this specific broadcast of one hit wonders. Just remember listening to all those songs and watching MTV over and over again and seeing a lot of the videos that were all related to the one hit wonders. So that's about it.
So are you an easy lover, Scott?
Yes, but that would be Phil Collins.
That he sang on it, but it wasn't a Phil Collins song.
Was it Bailey?
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, you guys can lean on me. But only if you're tough enough. Fabulous Thunderbirds.
You guys, yeah.
But before we leave, we gotta rock on, Michael Damian.
Oh wow. I'm sorry, I got nothing. I'm thinking, I'm like, I got no way to throw a pun out there like that. That's good stuff.
Don't make me get out the toy soldiers.
Oh.
But only if your beds are burning.
Oh. Yes,
but remember, we don't have to take our clothes off.
Oh, to have a good time, really?
Yeah.
We could keep going and going.
Yeah, and I was actually looking for one, but I think I'm going to go supersonic.
Supersonic.
JJ Fad.
I do not know that one.
You're going to have to look it up when we get off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up a few of these videos.
I'm going to go stare into my black velvet.
Now see, that's a great song.
Yeah.
I love that song. Interesting tribute to Elvis.
Yeah.
Just love her voice is phenomenal in that too. I just love it.
Well, you can only do that if you have heart and soul.
Oh my God.
Tapao.
Let's go. What the hell is that stupid song? Let's go back to my room. I just
boom, 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 boom. Let's go back to my room.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a bad one. And that was one of those bad ones that wasn't good in my eyes. That's bad. That was really bad.
Everything I just shouted out was bad.
But, that's okay. It's our podcast. Our voices carry till Tuesday.
Oh, my gosh.
So, all right. Where can people find you, Matt?
On Twitter at Matt McLean73.
Scott?
At Scott's Eye.
And this is Dave, and I take care of at 80's Reboot. So with that, good night, everybody.
All right, there.
We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80's Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80's Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80's Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.